So I'm sure some of you guys have noticed that there's certain music that is currently not being allowed to be played on YouTube. And I wanted to talk about it really quickly because, as always, I feel like when I look at social media, there's so many people that don't understand how any of this works. And the first thing that they do every time something like this comes up is they blame YouTube. YouTube is acting crazy again. YouTube is doing dumb shit. This is why YouTube should fail. We need another platform. And I'm like, yo, y'all are actually wilding right now because YouTube is one of the greatest things that's ever happened. And I feel like all the people that actually create on YouTube and have changed their lives off of it will tell you that 100 times over, regardless of all the little bullshit that happens. But this kind of stuff, I just feel like someone needs to talk about it to make sure, to set the record straight, so to speak, because YouTube is not responsible for a lot of the stuff that people end up complaining about. Like people get mad that they get real strict about stuff with ads and everything and swear words but you have to understand that if these creators want to make money, if we want to be able to make money, if we want to monetize and be able to pull any revenue from ads and stuff like that, we have to follow what the advertisers want. It's not like YouTube was, you know what, we don't like swear words anymore. We're going to start to demonetize all these swear words. YouTube would probably love to be able to keep them there because that's less they got to put into the automated system. That's less shit that they got to worry about, less people complaining and you know what I mean? Like it's easier for them, but the advertisers are like, you know what? If you're going to be saying the F word over and over, you're going to be doing this. If like, we don't want to put our ad on that. And then the revenue goes down. That's a problem. And I feel like we all should understand that. So a lot of these changes and things that happen, it always comes down to YouTube trying to make it good with the people that actually pay us, the people that are giving us the money, that are putting us in a position to be able to create revenue from our content. So you can't blame YouTube. They're doing what's best for them as a platform, but also for us as a creator. And the same thing happens when it comes to this new music ban thing. And I'm sure it'll get sorted out at some point, but this is basically what's happening. SESAC stands for the Society of European Stage Authors and Composers, which has been around since 1930, and according to its website, currently licenses the public performances of more than 1.5 million songs on behalf of its 15,000 plus affiliated songwriters, composers, and music publishers. So the reason for the ban is that YouTube is still in negotiation with the SESAC, and they haven't come to an agreement yet. Now, they license so much music, and you have to have this agreement with them because of the copyrights to make sure that the artists are being paid properly. It's no different than ASCAP or BMI. It's just a little bit smaller, but it has a lot of prominent artists. And so YouTube obviously has to get this deal put together with them before they're allowed to put the music on the platform. Otherwise, they run into a lot of issues. So it's not YouTube just deciding to suddenly ban all of this music. They're doing what they have to do legally. SESAC is among several companies that help songwriters protect their original work and collect royalties, just as with Universal Music Group's dispute with TikTok earlier this year, which resulted in 4 million songs from artists like Taylor Swift, Bad Bunny, and Adele being pulled from the social media platform for months. SESAC and YouTube have not reached a deal agreement on renewal terms. Thus, SESAC is within its purview to block public performances of music from streaming to radio play, though this is often hard to enforce. While YouTube has not yet released a statement on the matter, its X account replied to several customers writing, "We hear you. Our music license agreement with SESAC has expired without an agreement on renewal conditions despite our best efforts. For this reason, we have blocked content on YouTube in the US known to be associated with SESAC as in line with copyright law." The account later added in a reply, "We understand this is a difficult situation and our teams continue to work on reaching a renewal agreement." In a separate comment, Team YouTube wrote it is continuing discussions with SESAC, though it has no exact dates for future updates yet. Blocks like this are common when copyright companies and distributing platforms cannot agree on a licensing deal. The duration of such legal disputes can last anywhere from several days to months at a time, such as when the behemoth Warner Music Group pulled music videos off of YouTube for the better part of a year from 2008 to 2009. So it's not the first time that this happened. And most recently, which was just a few months back, I want to say, was the UMG with TikTok situation. So unfortunately, until they reach an agreement, there's just not much that they can do. They have to follow the copyright law. They can't just put it up because everybody's complaining. And I just feel like it's wrong that everybody puts it on YouTube every single time, instead of these big companies that are probably asking for an insane amount of money or a crazy percentage out of the deal that just doesn't make sense for YouTube because they feel like they have the leverage, which to an extent they do. But the fact that YouTube is used in like every single household, and that's literally the go-to for music videos now, I feel like YouTube probably has the better part of the negotiations. And so it'll most likely be resolved at some point, but you'll notice that even the reactions to these songs are no longer available on YouTube. And the only thing that's not too big of a deal about that is that for the most part, if it's being pulled as an SESAC song, it's most likely copyrighted, which means the reaction channel wasn't making any revenue off of it anyway. So it shouldn't be affecting any reaction channel's revenue, but it may affect the artist revenue, the label revenue, because now there's no more numbers, no more ads, no more anything like that on YouTube to then pull and then go to them. So I would assume that at some point, money wise, this is going to get situated because of the fact that they're going to end up losing some money. And I'm even seeing some places say that the deal isn't actually up for another week, and that YouTube pulling them off of there early is almost a negotiation tactic, because in this next week, they're probably going to see how much revenue they end up missing out on not having any of their songs up there to be streamed and played and all the stuff that would then go into that. So we'll see what happens. It could be a long time. I have no idea. I'm curious how this is going to affect stuff going forward. Obviously, I do a music reaction channel as well, but I just wanted to talk about this because, again, I think YouTube gets the bad end of the stick a lot of times, and people just always, they just want to blame them because it's easy. YouTube is the forefront. That's where you're going. You see YouTube up top, you can't watch a video, you're like, it must be YouTube. But in reality, I think a lot of times it's these other companies that just try to leverage themselves to get way more out of the deal than would actually make sense. And YouTube stands their ground because they really have the in my opinion, they have the power because everybody is on YouTube. It's only growing day by day. There's more creators, there's more people on there watching it. It's probably one of the biggest platforms in the world. So we'll see what happens. Let me know what you guys think down below. I'll catch you in the next one, homies.